We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes, so everybody hang loose.
All right, we be hanging, Bobby. Of course, at the end of that jam, you can hear one of the band members say, yeah, as if they came in just on time. It seemed that was perfect timing. One of the great versions of Let It Grow ever. I propose we start a new topic on the bulletin board right now. The best standalone version of Let It Grow from the Grateful Dead. I certainly nominate that particular one there in absentia. This is WBAI New York 99.5, non-commercial FM listener-sponsored radio in New York City and the surrounding universe, concluding our first set from Colgate. I don't know the venue, but I know the date was 11/4/77. Bertha, Good Lovin', Brown-Eyed Women, Cassie, Must Have Been the Roses, Sunrise, Minglewood Blues, Dupree's Diamond Blues, and Let It Grow. We've got the second set coming up next week on an incredible 6-hour edition of Morning Dew, where we'll be raising scads of more monetary support to keep this ship afloat here high above New York City, emanating from the tippy top of the Empire State Building master antenna, radiating out in a 100-mile radius from this particular location and beyond. With the music of the Grateful Dead and related configurations, somebody called up tonight, suggested that we do a little bit more related configurations next week during the expanded time slot. We're certainly going to take that into consideration. We know we've got the Grateful Dead from August 4th, 1974, July 25th, 1974. We've got more of this set, as I mentioned earlier, from 11/4/77. We got 5/17/77 in the board form, which would be a rerun of the audience great tape that we aired a few years ago, but an upgrade to that. We've got 11/9 and 11/11, 1973, 9/11, 1973, 1/2/72. The list goes on, and not to mention everything that was aired previously this past year, which all the people that subscribed a year ago should be calling up now. We haven't even come up with a tenth of the number of subscriptions that we got in that particular broadcast. All of those yearly subscriptions certainly have come due now. Certainly urge you to pick up the phone, 212-209-2950, 212-209-2950. We got the conclusion of the Felt Forum from the Grateful Dead, December 4th, 1971, coming up next. And now it's time for the Morning Dew roll call for this evening. People that have found it within their means to contribute to this radio station and become a successful listener of WBAI and Morning Dew. Derek from New York City, a new subscriber, thank you very much. Brian from New York City, thank you very much. Howard from Staten Island, yeah. Barbara from Wallington, New Jersey, thank you very much. So far, New Jersey's in the lead, I guess. Jack from Corona, Joseph from West Orange, New Jersey, Vincent from Brooklyn, Nick from Brooklyn, Jeffrey from Jackson Heights, Bill from Boonton, New Jersey, Daniel from Mohegan Lake, New York, Stephen from New York City, Joseph from Stamford, Connecticut. All right, Connecticut, don't forget, we're in Connecticut, we're in Pennsylvania, upstate New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Staten Island, everywhere that matters is WBI. We're even on the web. You can go to the Morning Dew website, www.lightsong.com/Morning Dew. Check out the live link to hear us live over the web. Hopefully we'll hear from some people in a little bit more of the peripheral listening area. We got David from Bedford Village, New York. Thank you very much. Beverly from Ridgewood, New Jersey. Neil from Wantagh. Robert from Brooklyn. Kevin from Brooklyn, Alan from New York City, Brian from Brooklyn. Let's hear it for Brooklyn. That's where I'm from. Brooklyn's kicking ass tonight. John from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Humbert from Brooklyn. Yeah. Scott from Edison, New Jersey. Jersey and Brooklyn tonight. Richard from Maspeth. Eric from Jericho. James from Brooklyn. Terrence from Middletown, New Jersey. Rodney from Sayreville, New Jersey. Barry from Brooklyn, Mark from Princeton, James from Old Tappan, New Jersey, and Christopher from New York City. Thank you very much. Join your brothers and sisters that have contributed to this particular fund drive. If you're holding back It's pretty much hard to believe that you will after what we got coming up next, but if you must, we're certainly going to be on next week. You'll have another opportunity. So you may want to notify your relatives, the people from out of town that you trade tapes with, people from around the world that may benefit from the the ripple effect of people recording over the airwaves here and passing things around. Certainly pass the hat. Come up with a strategy to support this particular radio station, because it is important that we see some support. We're encouraged to show up here every night, more or less on time, supply you with music information, uncensored, unfiltered, in the way you want it. Great sounding Pacifica airwave stereo, 50,000 watts, blah, blah, blah. I prefer not to speak and play music. As I always state, my preference is fairly obvious in that area, but it's certainly necessary sometimes when the phone lines are not lit as they aren't now. So we urge you to get over to your phone, give whatever you can. If you're a low-income person or you're a student or a senior citizen, $25 will do you for a yearly subscription. 50 cents a week is all it is. If you got $1 a week for a direct deposit to your recording medium of choice. No postage, no waiting for the mail, no surprises. You get what you pay for, or what you play for, or what you come for, or what you hear. We prefer not to mention money in the equation, but that's what it takes to pay the bills. You know, if you don't pay your electricity, if you don't pay your utilities, if you don't hire the basic skeleton staff that it takes to run a radio station here in this mega media market that is New York City, you just don't survive. And that's where you come into the equation. Certainly you can come down and help answer the phones next week. Call the switchboard during office hours, 10 to 6 at 212-209-2800. They'll hook you up with a volunteer shift. We need people to answer phones, because without them, we wouldn't be able to get these pledges tallied and all the information orderly and defined and confined, and however it is that we process things. But that's what it takes here to survive. We do this 3 times a year. The rest of the time, we do what we do. And that's hopefully provide some entertainment and useful information to you people out there that have found it scarce to get what you want in the other electronic media that exists around here, or in fact around the world. So 212-209-2950 is the number to call. We got the remainder of the set from the Felt Forum, December 4th, 1971, coming up next. As I mentioned, all those great sets that are going to be coming out next week on the big 6-hour program from 6 p.m. until midnight, as well as the rest of the year. Last year was a very successful year for us as far as bringing many uncirculated live Grateful Dead concert recordings to the airwaves. This year will probably be even better. And as you can tell by the sound of my voice now and the music that you've heard so far, the WBAI transmitter is sounding sweeter than ever, which is even more of a reason to support this particular radio station, so we can keep up our maintenance schedule, so we can hire the personnel that it takes to stay on top of these things, keep everything fine-tuned and tweaked just right so it sounds great. Nobody's calling now. We'd like to finish out this particular broadcast with a flurry, so please give your support for something that you listen to. If you only like 10% of the program, only pledge 10% of what a particular your commitment is for this particular broadcast, or even for the rest of WBAI. But if you listen more or you record more, you certainly appreciate things. That's what your commitment should be. 212-209-2950. Judging by the number of subscriptions that we get per year just on this particular program, it's hard to believe that only 500 people or 1,000 people listen to this particular program. We know there's many more of you out there potentially. So call your friends, neighbors, as I mentioned, tell everybody from out of state and around the world that benefit from the recordings that you get over this particular airwaves to support this source, this wellspring of great music and information that is WBAI. So what we got next here is a very interesting segment from the Felt Forum show coming up. The phone lines are dead. I don't know if we're going to get through the whole thing. We don't like to cut into big monstrous jams by the Grateful Dead, but we do have a priority, and that priority takes precedence over this particular fundraising time slot. 212-209-2950. Please pay attention to what is important now so we can keep the music flowing out and keep all of you guys happy here over the airwaves. Right. So just trying to hold things together. Trying to stay cool. 212-209-2950. Please pledge your support to this particular non-commercial listener-sponsored radio station. As I get everything queued up, everything sounding just right, I'd like to see some generation here on the phone lines. Before we get things kicking underway, Jay Smooth's Underground Railroad is going to be happening here at midnight, the music and culture of hip-hop. So stay tuned for that. This is Grateful Dead. We'll be back here next week at 6 o'clock, right, like I said. So keep that in mind. Never mind your distracted host, but certainly you'll hear less of me if you call up at 212-209-2950 and pledge your support. The phone line's dead now, so hopefully you will heed my call and do the right thing. All right, so WBAI New York. Stay tuned.